Hey guys, this is my first ever video. Uh, kind of just wanted to test the long form content out. Um, if you guys are coming from my TikTok or Instagram account, I do a lot of short form barber content on there, and yeah, I wanted to give YouTube a try. So uh, I wanted to do something a little bit different on the YouTube. Um, I feel like short form content at least is more suited toward barber videos because feel like people don't have the attention span to just watch other people cut hair. They kind of just want to see the finished product. Um, but I was surfing on YouTube yesterday, kind of aimlessly, not knowing what I wanted to do or watch. I just quit my construction job to kind of do the barbering more full time. And yesterday I didn't really have much to do, so I was kind of just watching YouTube, and I went down this rabbit hole of like inspirational videos or just dialogue like what I'm doing right now. Of There's this one creator that I've been watching since I was very young named Rhino. Shout out to him. He just shares his thoughts and kind of gets his words out of his system, and I think it's a really good idea. That's something that I want to do, hence why I'm doing this right now. And he said something that kind of stuck with me, or at least he said this quote that really stuck with me. As I was watching this video, he said this quote. I think it went, people who fear the crown can never be king. And he went further into detail on that, and it really stuck with me as he was going into detail. Um, Basically, what he was saying is there's many talented people out there who can be great at whatever they want, but those people who are scared to kind of put themselves out there in a way will never ever be successful, just because of the fear of either failure, judgment, or fear of the unknown. Like they don't know what's going to happen if they do end up putting themselves out there. And I think that's, a great message. Shout out to Rhino for kind of putting people on this kind of idea, because this message can really take you far in life. What I'm basically trying to say to the people watching is that, you know, it's scary to, strive for success, hence the fear of the crown. But if you can't overcome that fear, then you're just going to stay stagnant your whole life. You're never going to see the true beauty of life. You're never going to see what you really could have done. You may never even find your passion, and you might just be miserable working. If working a 9 to 5 is your thing and you really like that stability, that's great. But I know that a lot of people my age or younger, they have big ideas that they really want to go and put out into the world. And I think that's a beautiful thing. The problem with that is school kind of tells us to go the complete opposite direction of that. And, what matters to the school system and to society is if you have a degree, if you have a, an important major, if you're an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, that's what people in society put a lot of stress on. And I think those jobs are very important, but I think that not a lot of people are passionate about, crunching numbers all day or writing paperwork. I know I'm not. I really want to stress the idea of not being afraid to take a leap, you know? Believe in yourself and do what you really love. Because if you do what you really love, then it'll always work out. Even if you're not a multimillionaire or you're not famous on the internet, or, you know, as long as you can provide a stable life for you or your family and you're happy, that's something money can never buy. Um, yeah, and I kind of wanted to. I wanted to really get out here and say this on the internet because I have been wrestling with the idea of quitting this summer job that I had during the regular months I am in school. And I'm not planning on quitting school, but it's not my main priority. Don't get me wrong, I'm a good student. I do all my work and I try and learn what I can. But my passion is to kind of, see more of the world and try and share with people what I love. Like I want to share the barbering, the haircuts, and I even want to get into making films, short films. Me and my friends are going on a camping trip very soon over the long weekend, and I really wanted to make a short film about that. Not even just because the idea of for content, but more to look back on, maybe in 5-10 years, and we can all see how good the times were then, and kind of compare to what we're doing now, or sorry, in the future. um I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know your passion can be a million different things, but you really can't be afraid of it going wrong, because everybody who's afraid is kind of gonna stay stuck for the rest of their lives. And I don't know about you guys, but that's definitely not something I want to be. I always think, I guarantee a lot of young people my age think about their futures, and the mystery of it is really scary. But I think as long as you find something you love, there's nothing to be afraid of. I do get anxious sometimes about my future, mostly because everybody else is, talking about theirs. And shout out to the people that do have it planned out, because I think it takes a lot of balls to kind of say, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and by 25, I'm gonna be here. You know, but I also think that can be kind of toxic, because what happens if you're not where you want to be by 25? Does it mean you failed? Because I certainly think it doesn't. I think, you know, we're not all gonna get exactly where we want to be, but as long as we're walking down the right path, even if we take a few wrong turns and we get to the same destination, it's not a problem. Um, yeah, I wanted this video to kind of just be a little intro about what I want to talk about in the future on here, and it's a lot more of the kind of deeper thoughts that I get, and how we can really attack them. Um, yeah, I know I got off topic a few times, but what I really wanted to stress is just don't be afraid. Do what you love and take the leap. I know I was afraid when I started cutting hair. My first 30 haircuts were terrible. I thought I was gonna have to, just give up. Nobody wanted to let me practice on them. Nobody was paying me. People even made fun of me at my school, my friends even. But the important thing is that I continue to do it, and now I'm slowly building. I'm making money. I have a steady stream of clients. The next thing I want to do is maybe work in a barbershop part time while I'm in school. Yeah, and make some extra cash on the side while pushing out my content and get a good client base. But yeah, guys, find something you love and do it and stick with it, because when it pans out, not if, when it pans out, it'll be so much sweeter than if you took the easy way out and kind of just did something with less resistance. That might have seemed simpler, but in the long run, it'll always make your life more difficult. So yeah, I appreciate you guys listening. Once again, shout out to Rhino for kind of inspiring me with his channel of 100,000 followers. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon.